Okay. So Jessica said, we're just going to recap for the She said she's the healthiest person she knows. She's eating really well and detoxing with the thyroid healing. And has detox symptoms like acne. And we've discussed drinking more water, and she says she's drinking a ton. So what other things are going on?
Definitely the fatigue is there. But I mean, that's always there. So that's not really new.
Is it going away or diminishing at all?
I feel like it got worse in the beginning, a lot worse. And then I have moments when I'm like, oh, I actually have energy today. So I have like periods in the day where I feel like it's going away, but then I also have periods of the day when I feel like it's kind of worse. So, but I've also been like getting up early and exercising and stuff. So that could be part of it. Yeah. I feel like since I read this book and it has like this list of all of these symptoms that can come from that Epstein-Barr virus, and I connected with like most of them. So I don't know if now that I realize the connection, it's just in my head more, but now I'm like noticing like all of the little things like all of the time. So, but I think that might just be more of an awareness thing. But yeah.
Well, that's great. And the book that you're talking about is the thyroid. What is it called?
It is Thyroid Healing, The Medical Medium.
Okay, by Anthony Williams, right?
Yes, by Anthony Williams.
Perfect. And that's one that I need to get. We talked about doing that, so I'm excited. Okay, let's see. So is there anything else, Jessica? I'm trying to get this PowerPoint up here for us in a minute, but
no.
anything else that you can think of?
That's kind of it.
Okay, well, celebration for eating healthy. You're doing awesome. I'm so proud of you. We had a coaching call for 10 minutes this week, and you were saying that, let's see, what did you tell me? Oh, you said that you were doing all these things from the protocol with the thyroid and for the herbs and then the food and everything, and how are you feeling when you're doing all of that?
So before I talked to you, I was feeling like a little much. I felt like I was having more like rumbling in my stomach, more like diarrhea. But I cut back on specifically just there's this broth that I'm supposed to drink. And so I cut back on that. I was trying to do like 1.5 cups a day, and I cut down to like 6 ounces. And I've been totally fine since then. So I'm just going to a smaller amount for now and kind of keep plugging forward and see how I do.
Good. Okay, perfect. So let's see, Julia, let's have you tell us how things are going.
I had a rough month with cravings. Like, I haven't had cravings in a long time, and now I'm not every day, but a lot of days where I don't know what's happening. I go to the store and I smell the bakery, which for like 6 months didn't even faze me, and then now I'm like, give me that donut. I didn't do it, but I just having that craving, and then I don't know, I crave a lot of salt, and I know what that means, and I'm like, so sometimes, I'll crave like tortilla chips and salsa, which I guess could be worse. I eat a few of that. That's what I falter to when I crave. But so I don't know, but I don't know where I think it's an emotional craving, obviously. So, but
it's the salt and the crunch, right? Maybe the savory.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, there's some alternatives, but you know what? Chips and salsa is not bad. And
I don't even eat that much, but I feel like I sometimes I'll try and grab like carrots and celery first or something crunchy with some salsa or some hummus or something. But anyway, I just have that craving. Anyway, it's just weird. But
okay, that's okay. I get those cravings too, and sometimes I do cave in, and it's just kind of how it goes. But I think that celebrate that you didn't crave or that didn't cave the craving. So that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Good job. Yay. Okay. Any new symptoms or things coming up for you?
No, I'm still just dealing with my same problems. Some days are good and some days are bad. But nothing new other than just, I've been doing the castor oil packs and I've been doing lots of raspberry leaf tea. I'm just continuing the process for my female problems.
Excellent. Are you noticing it slowly going away at all, or is it pretty much the same intensity?
Well, it's hard to say. So it's not. It was worse last month, so it's definitely better this month for sure.
Good.
So I don't know, but then a few months ago, it was like gone for a whole month. So I'm like, what did I do a month ago? But I don't know. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just weird. But
you're looking really good. Have you lost any weight?
Well, I think I have. Like I've lost a lot of weight over the last year and a half. But I don't know if I've lost more weight. Maybe my clothes are big. I need new clothes.
You're thinner in the face, I can tell. And you look a lot more vibrant and happy. So
that's sweet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my flower shirt. I don't know.
No, it's great, but I can see it in your eyes and in your face.
Thanks.
So that's great. How about the anxiety and depression? How are you doing with that?
So I've been doing a lot of affirmations and have you heard of tapping and different? Yeah. So I've tried some of that. I still have the anxiety. It just, I don't know if it's hormonal. It's certain times. I notice when I take certain types of magnesium, I feel better. So I know my mineral balances are off. So I'm trying to figure that out. Just keep taking my different, I take up some salt baths and different things to help bring up, because I feel like the magnesium for me is mood lifting. So
yeah. Do you have that? I think I probably ought to put it up on that site that we have, but there's a magnesium list that I have. So it has plant-based sources for magnesium with herbs and food. Do you have that one?
I don't know. Was it ever in one of the workbooks? Or?
No. I need to just put it up online, so I'll get that.
Okay.
I'll put it on underneath the book recommendation list.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that will help. And even the chocolate brownies would be really good for you to do every once in a while. Just keep in the freezer or refrigerator.
Yeah, I've made those before.
Okay, good, because those have a lot of magnesium with the chocolate and the dates. They have a lot of magnesium.
Yeah, I've done date balls, and I have a recipe for raw peanut butter date cookies. I've done that with.
Okay.
But I haven't, I did that last week, so.
Good.
Yeah, it'd be good to know some. I mean, I've Googled magnesium-rich foods, but for me, it just sometimes I'll take the magnesium citrate because it will calm me because of my anxiety, and it also helps with constipation.
Okay. Good. Well, great. Do you have any questions about anything?
No, not right now.
Okay. Well, thank you both for sharing. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. So I don't have a PowerPoint for this. I had to catch up for last week and then create this stuff for this week, and it's been wild. So I'm going to go into what's been happening toward the end of this, and then we can sit and talk about it. So we'll go through weeks 15 and 16, and then I'll just tie everything into that, okay? So you'll have to wait.
Okay. We'll be in suspense.
I know, I'm sorry. Okay, so week 15 is about making adjustments. So as we've talked about, you're probably experiencing a variety of changes to your health. After you've been implementing everything that we've been talking about during this program, we've discussed creating a foundation of nutrition with plants and how to use them medicinally with herbs as well. Depending on your situation, you may have purchased herbs and are using them for specific issues, which is great. Please always check with your doctor for help with weaning off any medications, especially depression medication, and for help with contraindications with herbs and medication. So if you're on medicine of any kind, it's generally best to wait about 4 hours after taking your medication to take the herbs so that the medication is most effective. Okay, so 4 hours before or 4 hours after would be the best to do. And that will allow your meds time to take effect, and then the herbs won't have issues with that. Possible detox symptoms, then you may notice any of the following symptoms emerging during this program, which are normal. They're part of your body cleaning out naturally, and there's no need to be alarmed. Be sure you're getting plenty of rest and following the guidelines and the tips for success section, and also water and exercise and those types of things, okay? So some of the things you may be experiencing are fatigue, nausea, constipation, diarrhea or loose stools, headache, cold or flu-like symptoms, emotional issues, confusion, feeling frustrated, angry for no reason, and there are so many others that you could be experiencing. So each person is different, and some people experience pretty severe detox symptoms and other people don't experience any. And so I think all of you have experienced a few of these, right, at some point or another? Yeah. So some of the tips for success are to take a nap and get plenty of rest when you're tired. Your body's healing and it needs this time to repair. Drink plenty of water to help with the cleansing process and stay hydrated to avoid constipation and other issues. Allow yourself to cry and get the emotions coming up and out. We shove our emotions down with food and other substances to help numb out and not feel. So as you clean these things out, emotions will surface, and allow them to get out and feel them. This may not be pleasant, but just go with it, okay? Let's see, and I put up here too, these are the times when you need to take care of yourself and make yourself top priority. That's something that we as mothers don't do very often, and so I want you to really take some time and do that. How have you both been doing on self-care?
I feel like I've been doing pretty good since I've started my little reboot thing, just because I've kind of had to, and I've had you to support me and telling me to do that. But I've definitely had, like last week I took a nap every single day, which is hard to do as a mom, but I did. And so I feel like I did good with that. I've been drinking water, and definitely I've had a lot of emotional.
You have, yeah.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, but it's good, you know. I feel like I feel like better, you know, like when I have my cry days, I feel better the next day, you know, like I'm like, oh, I am better, I am healing, you know. So I feel like I've been pretty good.
That's awesome. And how about you, Julia?
Yeah, I feel like for the most part I'm doing okay. I've definitely had the emotion stuff going on. I've taken a lot of time, you know, most of my kids are all in school, so I have the day to myself. So I do try to take an extra long bath or do some yoga to calm myself or something.
Good. That's great. All right, then make sure that you're asking for help if you need it. You may not be able to get through the emotional times on your own, and it may be too heavy to bear. Talk to a friend or loved one and ask them to just sit and listen while you get things out. A lot of times they'll want to, you know, try and fix it for you, but sometimes you just need somebody to sit and listen. So express what your needs are to them. And then ask for help from a trusted energy worker or clear the past emotions away. You may need several sessions, and we can do that together too, and that is part of your program. Julia, we did one with you, right?
Yeah, we did one back in maybe the end of November or December, somewhere.
Okay. So you both get one more. So make sure, you know, if you're starting to feel like you need to have that again, then contact me and let's get it set up. Okay?
Thanks.
Yeah. And then meditation is really good to do. Exercise helps increase endorphin production, which will improve your mood. Get walking, stretching, or lifting some weights to help strengthen you and make you feel better. Chiropractic care is something that I started doing because my spine was out of alignment. And I'm going to tell you a bit about that. It's been pretty miraculous what's been happening. Get checked by a chiropractor if you need to get things adjusted back in. If you don't have a chiropractor, search for an upper cervical chiropractor or, and I'm going to change this, not NUCA training. This is neck and knee. So fix that in your book. It's called upper cervical neck and knee chiropractic.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's different from the NUCA, and that's the one that I'm doing. And I recommend Dr. Eric McIntyre.
So I went to him and I really liked him, but
Uh-huh.
it wasn't in my finances to continue the treatment.
I
And
know. And I talked to him about that, about maybe breaking it up into like 15 or 20 visits and then doing a next.
so he recommended 60 visits for me because of my problems. And I really liked how attentive he was and all of his plan and everything. But the price was more than my husband and I mean, just, I know I shouldn't put a price on health, but I couldn't use up every bit of savings I have at this time to pay. So I was like, I'm looking for a chiropractor, but I need somebody who would maybe only charge $100 or $200 a month instead of $5,000 to $1,000 a month.
Wow. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be talking to him about more, because we're talking about doing like a program together. And I don't think that everybody needs to have that, especially with some energy clearing and healing that I've been doing. And again, I'll talk to you about that in a minute. I'm so excited. Okay, so anyway, I think we can make it work for you is what I'm saying. And we can talk to him about it. Let's see, or make sure you're seeing a doctor at least once a year to get your general checkup. And what I do is I get the diagnosis and then I start getting to work with food and herbs and other natural remedies. So you decide what's best for you. But I like to do it that way. There are some things, you need to get some testing done every once in a while and stuff like that. But I always go back to that natural way of doing things as much as possible. Try and avoid the following: using pain medication to stop the process. Try one of the other suggestions above first to see if you can help things along. Eating sugar or other foods that you know aren't good for your body and may add to the pain afterward. And Julia, with you and your endometriosis and with painful periods and things like that, that is exacerbated by sugar.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure that you're not doing sugar throughout the month so that you don't have these really painful periods.
Well, the only sugar that I do is like dates, or sometimes I'll do honey, but when I'm having the pain, I try and stay away from pretty much anything sweet.
Yeah. Good. So yeah, the dried fruits are great, and then any kind of fruit, they don't act the same in the body as the fruit stuff. So good. Okay, doing too much at once. Cleansing and healing is a process. If you start changing your diet and taking a lot of herbs and supplements, you could be causing a deep cleanse fast. And it may take you, or may make you feel awful. Slow things down a bit, address the issue that's the most pressing one first, and then do the next one as things subside a bit. Your body will tell you when you're ready for the next thing by giving you some time to really feel good after healing. Listen and respond accordingly. And don't give up. This healing thing can be difficult at times, but it's so worth it in the end. We're always learning, growing, improving, and healing during our lifetime from the many stresses, traumas, and other issues that we've had from childhood on. It's taken time to get where we are now, and will take time to get back to feel normal. So giving up will not help. Be kind and loving to yourself. Let's see. So we said I desire to teach you how to listen to your body and act upon the impressions that you receive. This type of natural healing is done by the body, mind, and spirit, and it takes time. Be loving and patient with yourself and others, and you will see some beautiful results over time. So one of the things I suggest that you do is be your own parent, because many of us had parents that didn't take very good care of our needs for whatever reason. Some parents are very loving and kind and try as hard as they can to take care of us the best they can, and others are unkind and even abusive and are not what we wish we could have had as parents. And then there are others that are in between that just don't get all of our needs taken care of. And it's really humanly impossible to take care of every possible need for your child. And, especially while you're trying to survive yourself. So your children will have issues that they're frustrated with and may carry those into adulthood. The good thing is that we're resilient and we can overcome these things, and we're being given these tools to do so. So whatever your situation, understand that even the most loving parents make mistakes in it, and they aren't perfect. They can't anticipate every need and want that you have, and they're not able to provide you with all the perfect childhood. As a result, we may have areas in our lives where we feel inferior or incomplete. So it's our job as an adult now to learn to parent ourselves the way that we wish that we would have been parented. So I came from a family of loving parents, but my mom showed her love more toward me than my dad. She was the nurturer and my dad was the provider, but he was often gone. I wanted to be close to him, but found it difficult as I grew up. He then left my mom and our family, and resentment built up inside of me. This anger caused many health problems for me until I was finally able to forgive him 25 years later. It took that long. In talking with my mom about my situation, she suggested that I build a relationship with my Heavenly Father. He is perfect and able to fill all of your needs, she said. Your earthly father and mother are not. Ask your heavenly parents to help you heal and pray for them for guidance and understanding as you go through this process. This advice was so needed, and it helped me through some very difficult times when I was single and then married with children. I put my love and trust in a loving Heavenly Father and Mother and built a relationship with them over time that helped fill the empty hole in my soul and allowed me to heal. However you feel you need to parent yourself or ask for divine help from heavenly parents or another source, please create that in your life. We are not alone, and we can call upon those higher powers to help us in our difficult trials. Also, remember to change your mindset and keep working on being positive and loving to yourself first, and then to others. As we heal ourselves, our love and light radiates outward to those around us, but it all begins inside. So this week, for your activities, I'd like you to continue to notice your thoughts, your emotions, and actions as you go about each day. Write them down and ask for a deeper understanding of where they're coming from and why they're coming up. Then listen and write down your answers. Morning pages or journaling and praying or meditating are great ways to find deeper understanding of why you feel the way that you do and why the emotions you're experiencing are coming up for you now. Allow yourself time to ponder on them and figure out what they are all about. This is true healing at the deepest levels. Have you heard about morning pages? Do you know what morning pages are?
No.
I started learning this concept. I actually learned it from Kurt Duncan from 3 Key Elements. And he talked about how at around 3 o'clock in the morning when you wake up, that's the most divine time. It's where you receive inspiration because everyone else is usually asleep. So I started doing this. I noticed that I'd wake up at 3 in the morning, and so I'd go grab a paper and pen, and I keep a notebook now. But I would date it, and then I'd pray, and I'd just say, Heavenly Father, what do you want me, or what do you want to tell me? And then I'd just sit and wait. And I started writing whatever came to my mind, and it didn't matter what it was, I just wrote it down. And then I found that I started asking questions, and immediately I received answers. And it was this conversation that I was having with God. And trying to think if I should share one of these with you. Would you like to hear one?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go grab my book just a second. Okay, so it's in this purple notebook, and I chose purple because of the spirituality. It's the color of spirituality. Okay, so I feel like I can read this to you, but it needs to wait until I explain a few more things. So I'll come back to that in a minute. So the second thing would be do something just for yourself every day and get used to taking care of yourself and listening to the signals your body is giving. When you're tired, rest. When you're stressed out, reduce the stressors in your schedule and life. When you're angry, stop yourself with the HALTS method. Remember, hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, and stressed. So you stop and take care of it. You may find that you need to escape to your bedroom and cry it out, or ask for a hug from your loved ones that you can feel loved. Whatever it is, I give you permission to ask for what you need and create it for yourself. Supporting yourself in these ways will continue the healing process. Okay, I'm going to skip down here because we're just talking about this stuff right now, and then we'll go back up. So this is the going deeper section on page 80. I've spent the last 9 years working on improving my nutrition, and there have definitely been emotions that have come up at every step of the way. And now it's time for me to go even deeper into healing. I was born breech, not wanting to come into this world. I had a very traumatic birthing experience where my mom and I almost died. I was neglected as an infant and not fed regularly, and as a result, I starved the first year or so of my life. My mom cooked from scratch and we ate pretty healthy, but enjoyed baked treats. I secretly hid food and binged on sugar when I could, and I also routinely starved myself. I was infertile for the first 4 years of our marriage and then had thyroid surgery. I miscarried my first pregnancy and then had 4 more children in the years that followed. As a cake decorator, I was addicted to sugar and gradually grew intolerant to the gluten. I had also had issues with the animal products and mucus and inflammation forming. These and other life events, such as my parents' divorce, accidents as a child and later as an adult in a car, disappointments, broken-hearted relationships, and so much more contributed to my life's experiences and negative thought patterns. My fatigue for 28 years, of chronic fatigue, emotional trauma, and depression. So when I began working to clean up my body, all of these emotions I'd stuffed down with food began to surface. I had talk therapy, which is counseling, for many years, and it didn't seem to help very much. When I began sessions with an energy healer, the real healing began, and much faster than I'd ever experienced. Cleaning up my diet was also key to begin healing, but there was still much to do. I also had scoliosis when I was a youth and into adulthood, which corrected itself about 3 years after I started eating raw food consistently and cutting out sugar, processed foods, and animal products. However, I was still experiencing neck and back pain here and there, and it finally came to a head about a month ago at the time of this writing, which is in January. I decided to go back to a chiropractor and found one that does upper cervical, neck, and knee chiropractic care. He adjusted me once on my neck, and after taking x-rays to find out where I needed the adjustment, the first time was very painful, and I cried uncontrollably afterward for a few minutes. I felt a huge release of emotions and even some evil entities that had been released. This chiropractor, Eric McIntyre, is very spiritually in tune, and he said that he felt their presence and cast them out of his office. I went back often, and each time the adjustments became less painful and my neck wasn't out as much as the previous times, but I was having a difficult time keeping my adjustments for very long. So last night, February 7th, I was laying in bed and could feel along my spine in the neck. So I was just kind of going like this, and I can feel when I'm out. There are 2 vertebrae that go in the back there that kind of move over to the left side. And it just kind of feels like there's nothing there when I run down my spine. So I was frustrated, and I decided to do some energy techniques because it just wasn't staying in. So I envisioned these vertebrae going back into place, and I knew that I needed something to help keep them there. So I decided to visualize magnets that pulled them back into place. And if you can imagine this, like I saw my spine, and I took a look and was like, okay, they're over here. Here's my spine. Now I need to get them back over here. So I envisioned putting magnets on the top and the bottom of the vertebrae, up on the top and the bottom of each one, and then right here where they are, and that they were pulling them back up into place. So as I visualized this, I had this feeling that I needed to move my neck to the left. So I moved it to the left, and I heard a pop. And I felt it again, and it went right back into place.
Oh, wow.
It was incredible. I've never experienced something like that before.
Wow.
So throughout the night, I'd wake up and I wanted to move to the side, which previously would take my neck out of place again. But before doing it, I envisioned these magnets being really strong and holding onto the vertebrae. And when I awoke, they were still in place. And I've been blessed to continue to hold them in that position even now. They're still in place.
Wow.
So that is a miracle.
That is a miracle.
Yeah, it was really incredible. We can do things that we have no idea that we can do. And you know, I texted that to Eric, and he said that he's never heard of anyone do that unless they've had a near-death experience, and I've never had one before.
Wow.
So pretty incredible. So it shows you the power of visualization, intention, and faith. And I prayed for help as well during this process that I had no doubt that it would work. I'm experiencing great healing and receiving answers to my questions about my own health with various things that come up. And as I've cleared out my body with the food, I've created a healing attitude and a desire to heal on all levels of my body, mind, and spirit. My relationships are even healing at very deep levels, and I believe as I continue to work on healing myself, I'm affecting my husband, children, and family for generations forward and backward, and experiencing daily miracles. This kind of healing is available to you as if you desire it. So before I go through the next part, I just wanted to say one of the big reasons why I canceled our class last week was because I had gone into the chiropractor a week before that, and I had explained all of the symptoms that I was dealing with, really deep bone pain. He asked if I had, what do you call it? He asked if I had, like, woke up at night with night sweats, and I had been waking up kind of pretty hot. And then my neck wasn't staying in. And so these were different things that he looked at, and he looked at me and he said, we're taught in chiropractic school that if these signs are present, which you've got all three, then you need a cancer screening. And I just thought, great. Oh. So I went into my doctor, and he did a check, and we found a couple of breast lumps. And I'm going in on the 16th to get a mammogram. So I started questioning what is going on with my body. I've done everything that I've been asked to do with the food and the nutrition and everything. But what I realize is that I've been working so hard on that and a little bit on the mindset and the emotions, but there were some really deep ones that were still stuck in there. So I went back to the chiropractor for another appointment, and he adjusted my neck. And after that appointment, this feeling when I was going home, I had this feeling that I didn't want to live here on this earth anymore. And I'd been carrying this belief for a long time, and he cracked it out of me. He got it out. And so I was driving home just sobbing and questioning, why do I want to be here? And I kept asking myself that, and I couldn't come up with any answers. And then I started to think, I want to be here for my family, and I want to be here for my kids, and I want to be here to help people to be able to get over their sicknesses and all these other things that I'm dealing with. And I came home and I made a list of all these reasons why I wanted to live, and I was able to overcome that. What I realized is that these deep emotions that I've been carrying were in my breasts. They had to do with my family, with my children, my worries about them, and these feelings like I wasn't good enough and that I wasn't doing enough. I had some regrets about things, just a lot of stuff. And it was all being carried there. And so I started working on that, and I was pretty emotional on Thursday. I just was looking for any excuse to not do this class because it was so hard. And I'm really grateful that you all were okay with us not doing it. But then I had this experience with my neck and different things. Oh, the other thing is that I started working in the temple on Tuesday. And I'm starting to volunteer every Tuesday. And after that session, some incredible miracles happened with me and my husband in our relationship. And I won't go into details, but we have been getting some serious divine help. So I just want to testify to you ladies that when you have the intention to heal, that the universe moves in your favor, that God knows how to help you. And when you allow yourself to be helped, He will put everything in place so that you can do that. And it may take time, and it may be painful, and it may be frustrating, and there may be times when you feel like you're going backward instead of forward, but just keep going. A lot of the things that I've been told in prayers is just keep moving forward. And I encourage each one of you to do that as well, because you will find healing. You'll be able to get that. So I kind of went through the different steps of healing that I've been through. And first of all, I recognized that there was a problem. And then I got desperate enough to make a change. I started seeking out answers, and then I received answers and researched and studied those answers. I applied the, excuse me. I applied the answers to my body. I noticed changes quickly. Emotions started surfacing that had been hidden deep within. I worked with an energy healer, and I did some tapping and things too to clear those emotions and physical energies that weren't serving me. Resting in between layers of healing that were uncovering during this process for years. I got stronger as I went in my body, mind, and spirit. I visited the doctor yearly or as needed to get diagnosis, and then getting to work with food, herbs, essential oils, energy clearing, exercise, and taking care of myself. When a health issue or concern came up, I pushed out any fear or concern and got to work. Feeling the feelings along the way, I'd cry, I'd laugh, I'd get excited and celebrate the wins and even the failures. Increasing my gratitude increases my joy and the blessings that I'm receiving. I visited the chiropractor to get in alignment with my spine, which has helped me to get in alignment with my relationships and all other areas of my life that were out of balance and alignment. And I was willing to keep going, and I continue to be willing to keep going deeper and achieve complete healing and not live in fear or doubt, but increase my faith and belief in myself and God. This journey of healing can take a while. You'll experience the greatest healing as you go with the flow. Listen to what your body's saying and follow what it needs. If you're unsure, write down your questions, and then we'll answer them on our next call. So any comments or questions about that?
Wow.
Wendy, I feel like you're so amazing. I love that you can have these experiences and you're able to just be conscious and start asking questions and like tap into your intuition and find, I don't know, like you're just so good at like knowing like how to navigate it and what to do and where to go, and be it with the food or the herbs or spiritually or physically. Like I feel like you have just like this incredible gift to be able to like tune into yourself and to be able to heal yourself. And I'm just like so inspired. I want to be able to do that. I think that's such a gift that you have. So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome, and thank you. These are spiritual gifts that are being given to me. I didn't used to be able to do this. And as I've continued going along, I've noticed that I'm being given more and more spiritual gifts. I am more intuitive. I'm more empathic to people. I understand where they come from and where they've been. But all of these things, even the energy healing, every time I do a session, there are new things that I learn. And I, you know, like I said at the beginning of this, I was told, give everything that I have, all the knowledge that I have to all of you, and there will be more. And today I just came up with a new way of doing this for the next group, and you guys will be able to get into that. I'll talk to you about it as well, but just doing like 3 different sections, which I'll explain a little bit better, but you're just organizing things better and then helping you step by step more, and just taking all this content and making it so much more simple. But all of these things, you know, they come in the shower or at times when I'm just asking for help. And even when I went to the temple, I was taught how to create systems. They're incredible at the systems and keeping everything organized. And now I've been working on that this week with my business, is creating more systems. So just be open to those things, and you'll be amazed at the spiritual gifts that you're given to. And each one of us gets what we need. So thank you.
So I've got a question about the chiropractic care. I've always had just issues with those, what is it, the C2 and 3 or whatever, the same, those vertebrae up at the top. I've had them my whole life, and they're pretty much out 100% of the time. And I've spent a great deal of money going to chiropractors weekly and then and monthly, and you know, knowing that it's out, it gets put back in. I do feel better. I feel like, you know, I feel like the voices in my head, you know, go away, and like I do feel like there's purpose in that. And yet, you know, kind of like Julia, I'm like, man, after spending thousands of dollars and going all the time to a chiropractor, I just gave up on it because I'm like, well, my alignment just doesn't stay in. If I could, you know, spend the time and money to do that every day, then maybe it'd be beneficial for me. But I kind of just gave up on that path because I feel like within a day it's like goes back out, you know, or something. So yeah. So what do you have as far as suggestions where you've kind of experienced the same thing?
I actually have been to a lot of different chiropractors, and after my car accident, the person who hit me had to pay with his insurance for my care. So I got physical therapy, and then I went to a chiropractor, but this one was not an upper cervical, and he was cracking all down my spine and my back, and it got to a point where I had to stop going because it was hurting instead of helping every time. And what I've learned from Dr. Eric McIntyre is that the way that he does it, he just works with the neck part. He doesn't touch anything else. And he said that what he does is when you have those out of alignment in the neck, then it's like a towel is twisted up really a lot, and you need to unlock it. So when it twists up like that, then the rest of the spine will twist up as well. But when you can unlock and release that, then it releases everything else. So you don't have to go and crack everything else like most chiropractors do. He also said that this actually stays in longer. And I did muscle testing, and I really, you guys, I have a lot of faith that I'll be healed and that I'll be able to do it quickly because I've seen it in my own life. So I questioned him because he told me 60 times too, and I felt like that was way too much. Mm-hmm. So I prayed about it, and I muscle tested, and I muscle tested myself for 20 times. And I went to him and I said, Dr. McIntyre, I don't feel like I need 60 times. I want to work with this with energy and with my faith, and I believe that I'll just need 20 times. He goes, okay, if you feel that that's something that you can do, then let's work with that. And then I said, let's reevaluate after 20 and then see where we're at. So he's totally open to, you know, what you feel is best for you. Typically, he does the 60 so that you can make sure, and it's basically sometimes, you know, the first little while you're out quite a bit, and then your body gets used to getting it back into an alignment and holding it there. And what I do also is after I get adjusted, I envision all of the ligaments and muscles moving into that space where it just was. And, you know, my knee gets affected and my left hip and different things. And so I'll envision all those areas just strengthening and the fibers coming together and weaving together and just, you know, everything I possibly can to help that healing go quicker. But we can do that, you know. Does that help?
Yeah, it does help.
Okay. What do you think of doing a meeting with him, maybe a Zoom meeting, so you can meet him and talk to him and ask all the questions that you want to?
Sure. I don't know that I have a ton of questions. Mostly that would be my question, but I'm definitely open to that. I think, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Julia?
Yeah, I mean, I met with him a few times and I really liked him, but I think, you know, I just figured that was the deal, and so I kind of just told him it wasn't for me at this time, even though I really wanted to continue. So
yeah. So let's talk to him about what we can do to get the healing that we need, but doing it in a reasonable way. Hopefully that will help. All right. Any other comments or questions before we move on?
Nope.
Okay. So week 16 then is adjusting your nutrients, and this one is on page 76. So during this process, and I don't feel like I need to read this to you necessarily. So I think I won't. But you get the idea of what morning pages are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so during this process, you may notice that you're out of balance nutritionally, and this happened to me quite a bit. I remember after about 6 months, I just felt depleted nutritionally, and I thought, I'm doing everything I need to. What's going on? So we're going to talk a bit about what happened there and how you can fix that. We tend to stick to eating the same foods and using the same recipes so that we get out of balance due to the lack of variety. After eating mostly raw vegan for about 6 months, I experienced a deep feeling of nutritional imbalance, and I wasn't sure why. I was eating a lot more fruits and vegetables than I had originally and feeling some great energy from that. As I dug into deeper research, however, I found a lecture by a doctor named Michael Greger, who talked about vegans dying of heart attacks at almost the same rate of people who ate the standard American diet, which alarmed me. But I was noticing that my heart was having some irregular beating, and I was curious to learn more. So he studied a variety of patients and found that they were lacking in the omegas, especially omega-3 and B12. He suggested increasing the amount of omega-3s by eating flaxseed meal every day. Chia seeds and hemp seeds are also great sources of omegas and protein. So there is a link in here for you to watch the lecture on this subject that I watched, and that can help you understand a little bit more about it. I also created the omega-3 pudding recipe in my book on page 52 of the Beautifully Raw recipe book as a result. This helped me feel more in balance. I also varied the greens in my salads and worked at eating more colors of the rainbow for a variety of nutrients my body was lacking. Another great video from Dr. Greger is called How Not to Die. So this is the video link here. And he's created a really good book and also a recipe book by the same name. The other book I don't have in here, but it's about this thick. It has tons of amazing scientific research and things in there. But it helps to understand more about the science behind all of this. So getting the nutrients that you need, here's some ideas for you to do that every day. Remember, the best nutrients that are available to us are through uncooked plants. Juicing vegetables and greens help us to get nutrients to the cells quickly without the body having to do a lot of digestion. This is ideal for cleansing, nourishing, and strengthening the body. Doing a juice fast for 3 days or 30 days can be very helpful. Taking herbs to help with the cleanse is also very effective. Smoothies with fruit and greens are also excellent to be doing as often as possible and as much as you can drink. Do not add starchy vegetables to these drinks as it disrupts the digestion and taste. The fiber is also helpful for cleansing the body of toxins. Eating the 80-10-10 way is optimum for tropical climates, but we need to make a few adjustments in the higher altitudes with seasons. So here are some ideas that you can do on page 77. Root vegetables help to ground us. They come from the earth, and eating these, especially during the winter, help us to feel close to the earth and get the minerals that we need from the earth. Eat them lightly cooked or on low heat during the fall and winter. Protein and fiber. Add in beans or wild or brown rice occasionally if desired. These are also good foods for feeling full, but add plenty of fresh vegetables to your meal. Greens are the powerhouse of plants. They carry cleansing chlorophyll and the light of the sun. These plants help with your spirituality as well, connecting to divinity and are excellent for the heart, as green is the color of the heart chakra. Lightly steam kale or spinach to pull out even more nutrients from these greens. And you can also add to smoothies or juice or eat in salads. So phases of raw food implementation. I'm going to have each of you read these if you would please. Julia, would you start with reasonably raw, please, number 1?
Yeah, reasonably raw. Transitioning over from the standard American diet, SAD, by A, continuing eating animal products but beginning to reduce the amounts. B, cooking the meats first at medium-high heat, then lowering the heat to low, and adding vegetables and spices to mix them for a minute or 2. Vegetables should still have the bright colors and a bit of crunch. And C, adding the spices, garlic, onions, etc. at the end keeps their medicinal properties intact and allows for more of a medicinal meal.
Thank you. Jessica, will you read 2 and 3, please?
Cleanse. During the change of seasons, especially in the spring and fall, cleanses are wonderful to do. A liver cleanse is excellent at these times of year. You may also choose to do a 3-day or 30-day juice cleanse, depending on what you would like to accomplish. Increase raw food about 10% or more as you feel you are ready. This helps the body continue to cleanse, nourish, and strengthen itself over time. There's no need to rush each phase, plus listen to your body.
And then Julia, do you want to do 4 and 5, please?
Yeah, address the emotions that may come up for you with the modality that you choose. And 5, work on the physical symptoms as they come up. Focus on 1 to 3 at a time with food, herbs, essential oils, natural supplementation, or in other ways.
And then Jessica, 6 and 7.
Okay. Continue increasing raw food consumption and make necessary adjustments for the seasons. Beautifully raw. Eat anywhere from 75 to 100% raw to help increase the nutrients, cleansing, and healing properties of your food. Pay attention to the 80-10-10 rule of 80% fruit, 10% greens and vegetables, or all you can eat. 10% or less of whole fats, not oils.
So if you tried to eat a whole bunch of greens and vegetables, a lot of diets try and have you do that, but you can't really eat a whole lot, right? And they also don't sustain you. You feel hungry after you eat a meal of vegetables because they don't have the carbohydrates that the fruit do. So those are really important things. Thank you for reading. So I do have some sample menus here. First, the Reasonably Raw phase. You can look at the Reasonably Raw recipe book and get some of this information there. But breakfast, eat plenty of fruits first for energy. And about 10 minutes later, you can eat an egg or something with a little bit of animal protein if you desire. The lunch could be the largest meal of your day, or should be. Eat plenty of vegetables with a good salad and a piece of bread, natural yeast or sprouted if desired, alone or on a sandwich. Some healthy fat like an avocado or some soaked nuts. For a snack, more fruit for energy throughout the afternoon. Nuts or seeds if you haven't eaten your handful of healthy fats yet today. Dinner is a lighter meal with a bit or two of clean, sorry guys, a bite or two of clean animal products if desired. So organic chicken, wild fish, or organic grass-fed meat. But just a couple of bites. You know, you don't want to have like this big steak or anything. It's too much. Baked potato or wild brown rice and beans or something with a bit of protein in it, as well as plenty of fresh vegetables or lightly steamed. Dessert, wait an hour or more and eat fruit or have a small piece of dessert using one of the recipes in the book. Stop eating by 7 or 8 p.m. If you need something before going to bed, eat a ripe banana or two to help you sleep. So they actually do help sleep.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't that cool? The potassium in there will help you to fall asleep.
Huh.
You think the opposite because they're so full of sugar and you get energy, but if you do it about an hour or so before bed, then you should be able to sleep better. Breakfast then, excuse me. So this is a sample menu. So breakfast, green smoothie on page 25, or bowl of fresh fruit and crustless quiche on page 30. Lunch, large green salad with plenty of fresh vegetables and dressing or fresh herbs. Snacks, soaked nuts or seeds or granola bar, something with healthy fat, only about a handful or half a cup of a whole fat the entire day. And then dinner is a lighter meal, and then it says the instructions for above. Jessica, will you read cleanse for me, please?
Cleanse, the goal. Give your body a break for a few days, up to a few weeks, and allow it to work on cleansing and repairing of needed areas. After cleanse, gradually begin eating again with fresh fruits and salads, smoothies, etc., to allow the body to become accustomed to eating and not undo all the good you just did. Can I ask a question while we're on this?
Yep.
So months ago, I was doing, research on like the fasting and the juice fasting and these cleanses, and I've been really interested in them, and I love the concept of how your body can, go do house cleaning and clean up all the stuff that it can't work on while you're digesting all this food. So I've really kind of taken to that, and I was doing a lot of that for a few months. And then in your medical medium book, in the section where he talks about chronic fatigue, he talks about like not wanting to go hungry because then it kind of dips into your adrenals, into your cortisol to keep your energy up and keep you going. And where we're so low there anyway and wanting to protect that and heal that, he says to make sure that you're eating like every couple of hours and not letting yourself go hungry. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I've myself like questioned for me. What's the best thing to do? Because I'm very tempted to do these cleanses and stuff because I obviously have a lot that gets to be cleaned out of me, but I'm also, the fatigue is like the number one thing that bothers me in my life. And I get this sense that, I don't know, I kind of have this overwhelming feeling like, do people ever heal from fatigue? I don't know. So I'm wanting to do everything that I can to get the fatigue under wraps. So I don't know, do you have any thoughts there of what maybe I should be doing? Should I be avoiding cleanses, or I don't know?
I'm getting that you need to do a cleanse. I just kind of muscle tested there while you're talking. And the thing that you need to understand about these cleanses is that you're not starving yourself. You shouldn't be starving yourself. You're going to eat or drink about a gallon of juice a day. or more if you can handle it. So you should be drinking enough so that you do not feel hungry at all. And this is pure nutrition going into the body and feeding every cell of the body without you having to work so hard on digesting.
Uh-huh.
So if you feel like you need to do something like that, then that's the way to go. The Incurables program is a great one. I sell the herbs for $120, and you guys get $100 worth of product and herbs or whatever as part of your program. So if you're feeling like you'd like to use that, in fact, I don't know if I think some of you have used it, but we need to discuss that and do the $100 worth so that you can get what you need. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's see. The goal then for steps 3 through 6, these steps are described above. You want to gradually go through these steps as you feel that you're ready. So these steps 3 through 6 are up here on page 77. So it's increasing raw food about 10%, addressing emotions, and then working on physical symptoms, and then continuing to increase the consumption of raw food. And then beautifully raw. Julia, would you read that, please?
Eat anywhere from 75 to 100% raw to increase the nutrients, cleansing, and healing properties of your food. Pay attention to the 80-10-10 rule. 80% fruit, 10% greens and vegetables, or all you can eat, and 10% or less of whole fats and oils.
So not oils, yeah. Thank you. So this is basically the guideline of what I've done, but you can do it however you want. You know, and it can take you years to get through the first process or the first phase, or maybe, you know, a few months to get through that. However you feel you want to go through, there's no time limit at all. So if you're still here on reasonably raw, still adding some meats and things like that, don't worry about it. Just continue increasing the fruits and vegetables and reducing the amount of meats and dairy that you're doing. I have an idea or a feeling that you two are probably up around here, aren't you? Are you at 7, around 75 to 100% raw?
Right now, I'm probably like 85 to 90. I'll eat like a baked sweet potato or something, but
Okay.
Raw right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not that high. I know I'm comfortably in the reasonably raw.
Okay.
We've been eating that way even before this course. So when I saw your cookbook, I was like, oh, I can do this.
Good.
But we have added a lot more fruit into it. Does that make sense?
Good.
So I've been eating more fruit than I've ever eaten in my life. So I don't know. I could say it's probably 50-60 for me. I don't know. Because I'm still cooking for my family and eating with my family. So,
Okay.
and we don't have meat every night, obviously, but I still cook it for them. So.
Okay. So are you eating meat very often?
Probably a few times a week, but not very big servings, like just a couple bites.
Okay. Is that something that maybe you could get out and to kind of test it this next month and see if that helps with your
Yeah, and I try to avoid it when I'm having my flare-ups. Like, I know we're completely dairy-free. We haven't had dairy for months, and like maybe 9 months here.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't do dairy, but the meat we still do. So.
Okay. Well, you can cook it for your family and then just have something plant-based. That's what I do all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I put their meat separate so that they can have that if they want, and then I put all the vegetables and fruits and things out for everyone. So
my family likes lots of soups and things, so we are cooking. I mean, I'm cooking a lot of things where I'm adding things at the end, so it's more raw or whatever. If I make like a chili or if I make a vegetable soup, then I have a whole bunch of raw foods to dump in it at the end.
good. That's great.
So I do that. I have one child that doesn't like to do that, but the rest of us will do it. So
Good. Well, you're making progress, and that's
I feel like we're making progress.
excellent. Great job. Okay, so then the goal for this beautifully raw area then, breakfast, plenty of fruit eaten first for energy until you're full. Lunch should be the largest meal of your day, eating plenty of vegetables with a good salad. Some healthy fat like an avocado or soaked nuts are fine too. Just remember to keep the fat low at 10% or less for the entire day. Snack more fruit for energy throughout the afternoon, nuts or seeds if you hadn't eaten your handful or healthy fats yet today. Dinner, a lighter meal with plenty of fruits and vegetables, or drink a large glass of green smoothie. Sometimes I just have a big green smoothie or like half a watermelon or something in the summer, and that's my dinner. So just decide what you want to do there. The dessert, you can have a small piece of dessert using one of the recipes in the Beautifully Raw book if you desire. Be sure to account for the fat throughout the day with that as well. And then stop eating 7 to 8 p.m. and eat your banana if you need to. So here's an example meal. Breakfast is a large bowl of fruit in season, or doing a mono meal or a green smoothie or both. And that's on page 39. A Thai cucumber salad, page 102 for lunch. Eat a big bowl of it. Snack is banana split on page 71. Dinner, Reuben roll with Thousand Island dressing on page 66. Dessert, chocolate pudding on page 67. And then again, make sure that the fat is accounted for. And stop eating by 7 or 8. Make sure that you're eating omega-3s every day. So add in tablespoons or 2 of flaxseed meal in recipes or in your smoothies. Mangoes also have omegas in them too. And this will help keep things balanced for you. Okay? Any questions on those?
No.
I
Okay.
made chocolate pudding the other day and it was so good.
I haven't tried it yet.
It tastes just like chocolate pudding, doesn't it? You can't tell.
And I were like shocked. We were just laughing as we ate it because we're like, oh my gosh, we're like eating guacamole, but it tastes just like pudding.
With the avocado in it?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to try that one.
Yeah, try it. I really perfected that recipe because the first recipe I tried of that was really gross.
Oh, really?
So,
Well,
yeah, I added more chocolate to it and added more sweetening with the dates and then the vanilla and stuff, and got it right to the point where I really wanted, it tasted like chocolate pudding. And I was like, yes.
You did. You perfected it. It is delicious. That's
Thank
a good
you.
tip for us now.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite recipes. Well, thanks. Listening to your body then, as you become more aware of what's happening to your body because you're living more consciously, you'll start to notice when it needs different things. It's important to not stop the pain with medication and that numbs out the nerve receptors, as they will create new pathways eventually and the pain will return. So this was an interesting concept that I learned from Dr. McIntyre. I went to one of his meetings and he talked about the pain, and when you take medication, say for instance I have a problem with my hand, there's some pain coming down here in the nerve which is inflamed. Then I take medication and it actually kills off that area. But what happens is over a shorter period of time, the body will create a new nerve pathway and the pain returns. Isn't that interesting?
Oh.
I did not know that. So the medication is just creating a temporary relief, but then you get more problems on top of that if you continue taking it. So pain can mean inflammation, a broken bone, ripped muscle or tissue, congestion in an area, toxins accumulated in the body in a specific area, parasites or other foreign objects inside of your body, a restriction of flow of the body or of the blood supply. Sorry, my daughter had that. She has scoliosis and she was getting really bad migraines. And he took an x-ray of her and her neck was all kinked and it was cutting off the blood supply. So he was able to get that out of there and she stopped having headaches so much. Yeah. Damage to part of the body through an accident. Overexertion, organ malfunction, muscle soreness, bruises, overeating, incomplete or improper digestion, food poisoning, virus or bacteria multiplying and causing illness or disease, fatigue, and many more things. As you notice the pain, you can ask your body questions like, where is the pain coming from? And then just listen. What did I do or eat that may have caused this? And then how can I fix this? These simple questions and any others that you may think to ask will help you understand what is going on inside your body. You may not be able to identify the exact cause, but it will get the process started. Your body wants to communicate with you and help you understand how to help it. Listen to the ideas that may come to your head and act on the answers that you receive, even if they seem strange. As you become more in tune with your natural intuition, you'll be able to understand your body better and know how to help it. So Jessica, you were talking about how I was so in tune with my body. These are some of the things that I've learned how to do. And I think that will help you quite a bit. Okay. Any questions at this point? Or any other subjects that you want to discuss before we go?
I do have a question.
Okay.
So I'm newly gluten-free.
Okay.
No, but I'm not even familiar enough with gluten. I know obviously it's in wheat, but like I've gone like to restaurants and they'll have salads with like the like quinoa or like, you know, like the bowls that sometimes will have grains in them. Is gluten in all, I don't know what it's in and what it's not. Is it in, do I just need to be careful of wheat, or would it be in like quinoa or any of those other like harvest grains that they sometimes put in, or like rice? I don't know.
You know what? Gluten is in a ton of stuff. It can be in, like it can be part of natural flavoring, so they don't even have to say it, what it is. I would just go with gluten-free products. If it says gluten-free on there, then go ahead and do that. The problem is that with a lot of these flours, like rice flour and some of the starches and things, it actually spikes your blood sugar quite a bit. It has a high amount of arsenic in it and I think some heavy metals. So it has to do with the processing of it. So it's really not very good for you. So I would not eat a whole lot in any kind of white flour, you know, is processed. And so the nutrients have been stripped out of it. So really the way that I'm teaching you how to eat is the best way to do it.
So I'm not talking like in like baked goods or boxed things or anything like that.
Okay.
Those are fairly obvious, but I just mean like, I feel like it, the one thing that I've run into is like ordering a salad and it has some kind of like grains in it. Is that?
Yeah, I think quinoa is fine.
Yeah,
like we're gluten free for the most part here, and I usually can eat quinoa and feel good about that. It's okay. And
that's gluten free, yeah.
Yeah, and when I buy it, the package says gluten free, which would only be because it was contaminated or something, because it's naturally gluten free. Does that make sense?
Right.
So.
Also, the oats, if you're using oats, those are often grown on the same fields as the wheat are on the off season, which is why they get contaminated with the wheat or the gluten. So you need to buy those gluten-free. You can get them in packages over at Good Earth that say gluten-free on them. So they're just different things like that. Barley has gluten in it. But are you celiac or just intolerant?
No, just with this new diet thing, he says that the gluten feeds the virus, and so to avoid it. And so, I've just been trying to be careful with,
so those other grains and stuff, but you know, like I said, I can tolerate some of the things, like if it's an organic heirloom wheat, I do fine with it. But the sprouted breads and things are usually the best because the sprouted breads and the natural yeast breads they kind of digest the gluten. The sprouts are actually, I mean, it makes it so that the gluten isn't as activated or whatever. It's just, it reduces the amount. So I tend to do pretty well with those. The natural yeast, it digests the gluten to almost nothing. So I don't have issues with that either.
So I've been doing that Abigail's bread that you told me about, and I usually just do like one piece a day. That's like my one.
That's okay.
Which is huge bread, but so with that, so you've said that you've been able to digest it and you're good with that. I'm just wondering if I'm worried about it, like feeding the virus or whatever, do you think that I'm still good with something like that, or should I?
Because the gluten is so reduced, I think you should be okay. But if you're feeling like it's not working very well and that you should cut that out, then listen to that.
I mean, I feel like I've been fine. I just really get in my head and I'm like, I just want to make sure I'm doing it right, you know? Okay.
Yeah, I know. You guys are doing great.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Other comments or questions?
That's it for me.
This was a lot of reading tonight. I usually try and make it so that you can fill in questions. I mean, the answers and different things, but
No,
we'll get going on that. Tell me about how you feel about doing it next week, or do you want to skip that next week?
my calendar.
I don't mind having a skip, but I can do whatever.
So if we skipped, it would be on the 22nd would be our next one, and then the 8th and the 22nd of March would be our last call.
So I'm going to be out of town on the 22nd of February.
Okay.
I may still be able to Zoom in. I'm not really sure what our life is going to be like since we'll be out of town. But yeah, you can do what works best. But if we end up doing it on the 22nd, I may not be available.
Okay. We could wait until the 1st and have that be call number 10. So we could do 3 calls in March. But that 29th is the day before spring break starts.
Oh, for March?
Yeah.
That would work for me, but you know.
Yeah, I haven't planned that far ahead. So
Well, we're going to Hawaii that week, so
maybe you shouldn't do something that week.
yeah, I was kind of hoping to finish up before then. But we could also wait until the 12th and come back and do it then, if you don't mind going into April.
No, I'm open. So
Okay. Then let's go ahead and cancel next week and do it the following week on the 22nd. And then, Jessica, if you can chime in, that would be awesome. But if not, we understand and we'll record it. And then we'll go into March, so it'll be the 8th
okay.
and the 22nd. And then our final call will be on April 12th. Does that sound good?
Okay, so sorry, so we're doing the 22nd, 8th, and 22nd?
Yeah. And then the 12th of April.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. Appreciate it. If you'd like to schedule your next energy healing session with me, then let's do that. And there is in here also like a meal planning session with me if you want to do that. So you can plan that as well.
Yeah.
If you feel like you need to do that. And that might help just to get some ideas for yourself and your family and, you know, how to manage all of that. So we can talk that over. And then just look through your contract and just mark off the things that have been done already. And then let's get together and I think maybe I'll call each one of you individually in the next couple weeks and just see where you're at and what else we need to fulfill for your program.
Okay. Where can I see a copy of my contract? I've looked through my email. I just need to probably find it in there because I didn't print it out.
Okay. I will look through and resend that to you.
Okay. I'll keep looking. I'll double check and see if I have it.
Okay. Sounds great.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Wendy.
You're welcome. Thank you both for joining me, and we will see you in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.